Polokwane City moving up the log table with an unexpected win in that Polokwane City match against Sekhukhune, the Limpopo derby, and it was Simon Ramabu in the first half that got the goal. Sekhukhune dominating the game. Lots to talk about from that encounter. Mamelodi Sundowns' 4-1 victory against Richards Bay. Massively important because it fires Sundowns to the top of the Betway Premiership table. And Golden Arrows today were way too strong for Orbit with Dion Lobo and Carosa on the scorecard. So this is what's going on. Sundowns, where we are usually seeing Mamelodi Sundowns. And, you know, you hear the coach talking about the Masandawana family and they need to understand, and he's speaking to the fans there. The thing maybe they keep looking at those fans is the 3 draws. Because last season, Sundowns, I think, had 1 draw all season long. And this early in the season, they're looking and they go, well, Sundowns have already drawn 3. Maybe that was where a little bit of the uneasiness for the fans has come in. But they put it to bed today.
Yeah, indeed. So the difficult thing for Sundowns is that, remember, they had 2 weeks break. And fans might not understand the impact it has on the players' fitness, on their dopamine levels, on how they recover, you know, so it's definitely a big impact. But having said that, the last time you mentioned it earlier, that Sundowns lost, I had it down as against Borussia Dortmund. Locally it was against Orlando Pirates, you know, so like I don't know, are the fans too spoiled? Because yes, there's going to be a up and down, but I think Sundowns, I think their dominance is there to enjoy.
Back on top, Jimmy.
Yeah, look, Stig, I do concur with you. However, I then want us to look at Sundowns when you compare them to last season. But the number of games that they've played currently, they've played 10 games. They're only on 21 points.
Only. That's top of the log.
But they've got games that they've already played. If the other 3 teams below them play their 3 games, Sundowns is not number 1 anymore.
But games in hand, Jimmy. Yeah, games in hand.
No.
Games in hand, yeah,
I'm saying, ideally they would have been on the number of points with the same number of games.
With 30.
Yeah. Ngayo lama points now with the same number of games.
Because they could be on 30.
Yes, because now I think
21 out of 30 points.
Yes. So I'm saying because of the gap that they've always had, they would have played the same number of games. At times that they would even be playing in the Champions League, and the league still continues. And when they come back, they still top. You know what I mean? So I think the fans are also looking at that variable that used to be an indicator for how good the season has been for them.
It's going to be tricky coming up next, though, because you've got Sekhukhune, you've got Orlando Pirates, and you've got TS Galaxy. All those clubs are in the top 8 of the Betway Premiership. That's the challenge ahead, and that's why it's important for Sundowns to get the points in the bag. They begin their Champions League journey, as well as the Carling knockout coming up on the horizon. So a lot of fixtures still to come, and they've done the job enough to get to the top of the log.
Yeah, and another task for Coach Miguel Cardosa is to use his squad, to refresh his squad. And I think we started to see that today. The likes of Bennett Pupena coming on, the likes of Mkulisi, the likes of Basadine, you know. So that's what he's going to have to do to keep that team refreshed. But the quality remains to be seen.
Assess the man of the match, guys. Nuno Santos got him out of Guimarães in the top division in Portugal, arrives in the country, second game in South African football in the Betway Premiership, and that second appearance gives him a man of the match performance, Jimmy.
I think
that's his pass in and eventually put in the net by Matthews.
For me, I think it gives him the involvement in the game in terms of contributing to the goal. But for me, Patrick Matthews, I would have given him man of the match.
Is this a position you're expecting of Matthews? You know, on the end of a deep cross like that one?
It's what he needs to do more.
Yeah.
When you're playing off wide, if it's on the opposite flank, you need to get in there. So good to see that he's starting to bring that into his game and he's starting to score more goals.
And Matthews here as well, responsible for causing the trouble. It's his shot first that Zuke needs to block, then Khoza picking up the scraps.
And again, Tashrik is involved in that move. Yes, Khoza gets them the goal, but you can see that he gets so involved in the important parts of the game, you know. in this particular game. It's a team that has been under pressure at the Sundowns. Tasri gets them the first goal, seals it with the fourth goal. So for me, I think he should have been the man of the match. Take nothing away from Santos, though.
Wonderful for that man, Malibongwe Khoza. His first goal for Mamelodi Sundowns in the league. The 21-year-old is away, the centre-back. However, he was going to get pickpocketed here as we look at Gabadino Mango fighting, and eventually the referee not spotting the bite, the finish, world class.
Yeah, firstly, so the hard work paid off. He chased down Lebusa. He chased down Khoza, albeit it was a foul. I still stand on that to say, he clipped the
We'll talk about it on Monday.
We'll talk about it on Monday.
That one's for Monday.
But Mahango, just the presence of mind, the calmness that he displayed, and excellent finish. Mahango is a big player for big matches, and that's what he's going to do. He's got something up his sleeve every game.
And then, as we continue here to look at Mamelodi Sundowns, they were already 3 goals to the good when it came to the first half. Penalty.
Yeah, the penalty indeed. Once again, a good team goal. You look at the movement of Sailor to just link with this. Those are group tactics, being able to work with the winger. But again, Reyners for me does an exceptional job just to seal this one.
When you're the keeper and you've gone the right way and you still can't get there, that is a good penalty. Reyners now moving on to his 9th goal in all competitions, and he is showing that he desperately wants to be the top goal scorer this season.
Yeah, and I think when you want to win cups and be at the top, you need a top man scoring goals, and I think Sundowns has that in Ikram Reyners. His second time out in Joburg, first stint with Supersport. I think it's brilliant to see a player reach his potential, and I think Ikram Reyners, I think it just improves season by season, and his movements are now even better in and around the box. You see, even the fourth goal rather, you'll see he's understanding the striker's movements now, and I think he's also learned a lot from Shalulile.
Now we take a look here, and you'll see that Nuno Santos is involved in unlocking this Richards Bay defense, which is traditionally a lot tighter than it was today. And once it is unlocked, there comes the number 10. He looks up, too much time. Hey,
yeah, no, fitness you only corner, like I said, I think he's a good addition to that Sundowns team. You can see the quality when he's on the ball. His first option is to look forward, to pass forward, to play forward.
And in South Africa we say when you're a decent player, ska pressa. Pressa. Because if you don't press him, he's showing you that he has got the whole field to look at, and he'll pick someone out. He picks out Reyners. Reyners picks out the crossbar, and then eventually Matthews is the man on the spot to get his second on the day, move on to 4 goals, 4 assists for the season. But ska pressa doesn't work there.
No, it doesn't work. But also you look at his awareness, he always scans around. If you look at the balls that he has played over, he scans before he receives the ball. So he's able to see what's happening around him. Hence, if you don't press him, you make his decision making and his execution so easy.
And Stiga, tell them, he's wearing jersey number 10.
Yeah, so that's...
Number 10.
That's every jersey.
Yeah,
because Ribeiro donned that jersey. And to replace Ribeiro right now, I tell you what, it's a mammoth task. But
you're number 10, man.
Okay,
that's why I put. You see, I gave the pass.
No,
pass with you number 10.
Step in.
Yeah, number 10s do this. This is what I want. You are a number 10.
No, I seen you, but I released it. I seen it.
No, that was a killer pass.
It's a Santos.
But as a number 10,
are
you seeing the kind of number 10 that Mamelodi Sundowns need, not only for the Betway Premiership campaign, but for their entire campaign all season?
I seen the touches against Golden Arrows. He came on at halftime, and just his spatial awareness. It's easy to say now that you've seen his quality, but I seen it against Golden Arrows. How he finds spaces, as Jimmy mentioned, how he scans, and those are all attributes of a number 10. You need to know where you are, how you move, and then obviously that final pass is just excellent.
Sticker, they're saying on the screen there, Nuno Santos, this boy can dish up. Hey, it's going to eat nice.
Lovely. Lovely.
There's a new chef in town.
New chef.
Sama restaurant. It's not Sama restaurant. You can choose where you want to eat nice now. You can choose where you want to eat nice.
Everyone is just busy cooking.
Huh? But again, let's talk about the quality that he brings. Have you seen enough now, Jimmy?
It's not enough. The reason why I'm saying it's not enough is because he comes from a different league altogether. He needs to adapt. He needs to go play where it's not conducive, where the ground is not okay. He needs to adapt in such environment. You know, the pace of the South African football, whether they give you space or it's more about man-to-man marking, running every time. He needs to adapt to that. But in terms of his technicality, in terms of his ability on the ball, I can see that. And I would understand why they signed him.
So that's why we showed the next games, right? The games that are coming up for Mamelodi Sundowns, because there will be more of a test in those encounters. The top 8 sides are still on the horizon for Mamelodi Sundowns and for Nuno Santos. And there's also quite a workload of football still coming down the road. This is what happened today. 9 on target for Sundowns. And I mean, for Otieno, he was a busy man that couldn't keep out 4 goals today.
Yeah, it was a response. And first half against Golden Arrows, first time Sundowns never had a shot on target, you know, so they clearly changed that very quickly. They always have a very attack-minded front 4. So Sundowns answered the questions, and I'm sure a lot of the pressure will be relieved after this performance.
So that's what happened. Sundowns 4-1 over Richards Bay. If you are looking for a silver lining for Richards Bay and you're a fan of the club, it is the first goal that they have scored. Richards Bay, the Natal Rich Boys, against Mamelodi Sundowns in 7 games. So the 7 encounters they've ever faced each other, Sundowns had not conceded. They conceded today. And that's maybe if you are looking at something from a Sundowns perspective. I think they've conceded now in the last 4 games. So clean sheets are a little bit difficult to come by right now at Sundowns.
Yeah. No excuses, but obviously the central pairing. Keep it out with concussion. Lebusa comes in. Then you get Kakana playing next to Koza. So it's chopping and changing, and you know better than anybody else. It's a relationship at the back, so that doesn't really assist him.
Of course.
You agree?
Yeah, I do agree.
All right, let's move on and take a look at what's going on as far as the rest of the league is concerned and update you on the fixtures that have taken place and the goals that have gone in. Plenty of them, and it looked like Magesi were on their way to a bit of an upset here with this result. If it had stood and if this goal had hung on, great ball in. Wonder Boy Makubu finding the net, but at the end, it looks like it was just a consolation goal, Jimmy.
Yeah, I think Coach Gavin would be more disappointed on how they conceded. I mean, it was first a throw from the goalkeeper, a flick on, and then a cross. So it means they had 3 opportunities to defend, and they failed on all of those. But then again, they came back into this game. That is, at Durban City, as they get an equalizer there.
There's the comeback.
Them back into the game.
Samkelo Maseko, the right winger, getting his 2nd goal of the season. And from there on in, it was going to be goal after goal as Saziso Magawana then gets the 2nd of those goals, the former Arrows and Marumo Gallant's man, and then the experienced 33-year-old striker up front, Letsie Kwapeng, 3rd goal of the season. Gavin's done some good business.
Yeah, and I'm glad that Chatwood Stadium is going to become difficult for teams to travel to, and I think that's what Gavin Hunt and his technical team will want. A lot of exciting players there. Maseko with the 1st goal, and that's what a brilliant goal here from Magawana. And good to see that the experience is also adding to the squad here. Letsie Kwapeng play for Bidvest, moved to Orlando Pirates. A lot, what we could call him a journeyman, but it's nice to see that he's settling and he's playing under a coach that will understand him.
And what I'm happy for Durban City is the fact that they're able to collect points so early in the season. You know, for a new team, you don't want to find yourself scrambling for points at the dying stages of the league campaign. You know, and they're able to win games. You know, they went down, but they still came back to actually get a 3-1 victory in this particular encounter. So you can see it's a team that it will grow with time, but it's important to also grow knowing that you're collecting points.
I love the reaction there. I mean, they're already in the lead. There's a couple of moments to go, and that bench is cleared. Everyone's up to go and celebrate with Kwapeng.
And those are the things where you can see Gavin's building a bit of a squad there. When you're celebrating together, I think those are the signs that there's a coming together of the squad, there's understanding, and there's when everybody's pulling in the right direction.
Durban City up the table and into third position on the Betway Premiership table. So Gavin Hunt starts the season always with, doesn't have the resources, small club, and they were promoted from the National First Division last season, but they are, if they can continue like this, really going to be a difficult nut to crack for a promoted side.
But it still says they need to add onto what they have in order to have more options, have more depth, because remember, they're going to have a dip at some point. They're going to have injuries, there'll be suspensions. So you need to make sure that you've got enough backup.
Amazulu, Kaizer Chiefs, Marumo Gallants, those are the games coming up next. And I know all ears pricked up around the country when they said, okay, Amazulu, you see it, it's a derby, and then it's the Kosi Nation coming to encounter Durban City and Gavin Hunt. And that's going to be interesting with the history there as well.
Always a feisty encounter when Hunt is up against Kaizer Chiefs. But I think at the end of the day, you look at it as we're either going to get 3 points or 1 point. He wouldn't want to lose that encounter.
So there you go. That's what's happened as far as those matches are concerned. Those are the games that are taking place this evening. After the break, we're going to take you to what happened a little bit earlier on. And you need to stay with us so that you can find out if you agree with what Stigger and Jimmy have to say in their analysis of those matches. So City was stubborn. And if you listen to what Eric Tickler had to say, his side could not get beyond the low block. Polokwane City sat deep, and then they found this goal.
Yeah, it's all about the pass for me, firstly from Nguni, and then secondly, yes, it's a goalkeeper blunder, but it took it required a brilliant shot there for the near post, and that's exactly what Ramabu dished up.
He pulls the trigger, does Ramabu. A trigger that finds the ball going into the net when, well, the keeper decides he's going to try and guess where that ball is going.
Yeah, and I think that was his biggest mistake, to assume that the cross was coming in, instead of covering the first post first and deal with the cross if and when it comes through. Because now that decision forces you to move and the ball gets hit on the first post.
I love the celebration though. All the celebrations today, Ramabu's one is the one. He does the backflip, he goes berserk, and eventually at the end of the day, that was the goal that separated the two teams.
Yeah, no, and look at them just on the counter attack. That's when they become so dangerous. Trying to spread the ball side to side, but very difficult nut to crack today. And they managed to take the tabletop.
There's one comment I need from you guys. Puti Mohapi saying, we neutralized Grobler today.
Of course they did. He's done so well, Grobler. He's become a target player. And if you nullify him and the supply, you've won half of the battle. So I think they did a good job on him.
Neutralizing the top scorer in the league, it's been difficult for others to do. The low block, is that the secret?
No, I don't think so much the low block. Yes, it prevents him, and the 2 6ers will sit and stop the pass to him. But the Grobler is also dangerous in the air. So what Jimmy said is what they've done. They cut off the supply. The minute he goes to the left back, you're going to you need to apply pressure high up and not give him opportunity to feed Bradley Grobler, and that's exactly what Polokwane City done.
Well, there'll be a repeat of what happened in the MTN8 at the beginning of the MTN8. Pirates will be in action against Polokwane City. But that Polokwane City and the one that's now playing, that's now got 3 wins in the last 4 games, Puti Mohapi has also welcomed back players since the beginning of the season. It is going to be an interesting encounter. I mean, the players like Machuludi back.
Yeah, I think it will be one of a tester for them for this season.
For which team? Testing for Pirates or testing for Polokwane City?
For both teams.
Okay, I heard you saying testing for them. I just wanted to check. A test for both sides.
Are you correcting my grammar?
No, I'm checking. Each one is going to be test for that.
I'll take the correction in the grammar.
So test that.
But because I know where you lean.
No, your testing. Okay, the 2 teams, your test. That's what you see on the horizon.
Okay, as it is your test data,
yeah.
So it's okay. Yeah. So yeah, but I think for Polokwane City, it would be good for them to have most of their players back, and in search of 3 points more, and against Orlando Pirates, I think that will be a tester. for both teams.
There you go. Both teams. And that tester will be on your World of Champions. Absolutely no doubt about that. So make sure you're with us around the 27th, I think, for that encounter. Then, this is what happened as Arrows and Coach Mangoba Mniti's side were too strong for Orbit College. I've never heard a coach win 3-0 and then come out and say, the boys were messing around today and he's not happy. Coach Mangoba's comments at the end of the game were fascinating.
Yeah, puzzling at most, because you taken the confidence after taking a scalp of Mamelodi Sundowns. You win 3-0. I didn't see too much showboating, so I'm not too sure if...
I think it's chances.
Yeah,
chances that went begging. He probably feeling that the scoreline should have been bigger. We see Junior Dion scoring first, then Sianda Ndlovu coming onto the score sheet before the sub Jerome Carlse also getting onto the score sheet in the second half. But, I mean, that is just too easy.
Yeah, it's obviously
Great
just...
finish.
It's also because you have Orbit players just switching off, giving their back against the ball, and they all got surprised when the ball got played behind them, you know. Yeah, again, they failed to clear their lines. At this level, if you're going to continue making such mistakes, you're going to get punished. Look at the goalkeeper. He's committing and his defender is still there to actually give him cover. If he stays on his line, he allows his defender to still compete for a tackle. But he leaves his line, he makes it easy for the opponent to actually just play the cutback, and it's a goal.
So that's how it happened. Arrows building on what they did with that victory over Mamelodi Sundowns in the middle of the week, now getting a victory over Orbit College. Here's what's coming up tomorrow. Swelele, bottom of the Betway Premiership. Marumo Gallants, derby time. We're there for a Bloom derby. Looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it purely because I think also made a commitment for this game. We'll see how much.
You said 99%, something like that. But
yeah,
this one we are going to take.
Yeah, we are shoot. That's what I talk about Pirates from
Chipper Stellies, the basement boys, against each other.
Yeah, surprising that Stellies find themselves in this position, but we know that Chipper United are a very tough cookie, especially when they're at home.
Now in the Champions League, let's take you through what happened.